Dale Earnhardt Jr. drops a huge North Wilkesboro Speedway teaser, and Kyle Larson's not too happy with how NASCAR's running the Bristol Dirt race this weekend. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. It has been a very, very busy news week full of interesting quotes, interesting stories, and today we have some interesting rumors. We've also got some blunt Kyle Larson comments to discuss here in just a few moments, but I want to kick this episode off by discussing Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s suspicious North Wilkesboro Speedway teaser. Every week on his show, he posts them to YouTube, he does a live Ask Dale Jr. segment. And on this week's Ask Jr. segment, he off the cuff referenced that something big may be in the works over at North Wilkesboro Speedway and that we, the public, the fans, may learn about it sooner rather than later.
Y'all might want to keep your ear to the ground.
Oh, yeah?
On some North Wilkesboro news coming.
You heard it here.
That's all I'm going to say.
Huh?
Now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. dropping that teaser could mean anything, but it does sound like something will be announced soon? Maybe sooner than we realize. Speedway Motorsports, who owns North Wilkesboro Speedway, has a press conference scheduled for this weekend. There's also a press conference regarding Canada, which means maybe we'll see a NASCAR date at either Canadian Tire Motorsports Park once again. Some are predicting Montreal will return in some fashion. Either way, that could be an interesting announcement this weekend, but SMI also has a press conference scheduled. Could it be North Wilkesboro related? The timing between that and Dale Earnhardt Jr. choosing this week to drop a major North Wilkesboro tease. Coincidence? I think not. Now, the NASCAR Cup Series, of course, has not raced at North Wilkesboro since 1996. The track has sat largely abandoned for years. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was part of a group from iRacing that cleaned the track off a few years ago so that it can be scanned and imported into the sim. Recently, between Marcus Lemonis of Camping World pledging $1 million and then the state government, the North Carolina state government, allocating millions of dollars towards renovating the facility, it looks like North Wilkesboro Speedway actually has a future. I do not believe the NASCAR Cup Series will race at North Wilkesboro Speedway again, at least not anytime soon. If SMI does in fact make a North Wilkesboro related announcement this weekend, I think the Truck Series is the best, or at least the biggest series we can hope for. Any return to racing at North Wilkesboro at this point would be really cool news, especially for longtime fans in that region. But I don't see Xfinity, or certainly not Cup, racing at North Wilkesboro anytime soon. I'm curious to see what that announcement is this weekend. It could be anything. NASCAR's racing at Bristol Motor Speedway this weekend, an SMI-owned facility. It could just be something to do with that. No idea. I'm waiting for answers alongside the rest of you, so we'll talk about that more this weekend or next week once more information has been given. For the time being, let's go and move on to Bristol Dirt for a moment. I'm going to do a full Bristol Dirt dedicated episode probably tomorrow, but I wanted to talk about this a day early because yesterday on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, yesterday evening, while he was on with Claire B. Lang, Kyle Larson turned back into blunt Kyle Larson, the old Kyle Larson we'd come to know and love years ago. Before I play the clip, for context, recently Stuart Friesen tested the next-gen prototype at Bristol. They tried a few different things, including swapping out the traditional windshield with a sort of mesh. Now, as Bob Pockris reported yesterday, cars and trucks will have windshields at Bristol. Friesen did do part of his test last week with a screen in front of the driver, but NASCAR didn't feel it had enough testing/analysis from a safety standpoint, as well as enough time to implement it for this weekend. So despite testing without a windshield earlier this week, they will in fact race with normal NASCAR windshields. NASCAR has made several changes to help with visibility, including, first and foremost, running the race at night this year. That will be a big help to drivers and probably to fans and TV cameras as well. But two, as you can see on Chris Buescher's car right here, mud flaps have also been installed on the cars. That should have some sort of effect, positive effect regarding visibility. But windshields will remain, and Kyle Larson yesterday on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio wasn't happy about it.
If we're not going to take the windshields out, then why are we racing on dirt? We just shouldn't race on dirt if we're not going to take the windshields out and actually have a dirt race with moisture in the track and, you know, being able to produce a real dirt race. I feel like we're just wasting everybody's time a little bit and, you know, not giving the fans and competitors what we all deserve. So in my opinion, if we're not going to take the windshields out, we might as well just never put dirt on Bristol again, which I'm all for not putting dirt on Bristol, whether we have windshields or not. I think the racing at Bristol is amazing.
Firstly, I agree with Kyle Larson. If SMI and NASCAR want to remove dirt from Bristol permanently, I would not complain. I know the spring date struggled with attendance, but man, Bristol Motor Speedway, concrete Bristol Motor Speedway is so good. It's been my favorite track in NASCAR for years. But secondly, I mean, Kyle Larson's right. He's the best dirt racer in NASCAR. He's possibly the best dirt racer on the planet. So anything he says regarding dirt racing, he obviously knows what he's talking about. It's worth mentioning at Martinsville this past weekend, reporters asked Joey Logano about the same thing, and Logano, while he also thought having windshields was a questionable idea, he said it'll all be fine, the race is going to be fine. I mean, last year's race with windshields was fine. So I understand Kyle Larson's frustration with NASCAR continuing to use windshields. These cars obviously aren't built for dirt, and that's what Kyle Larson's venting about. I think the race will be fine. I don't think it's going to break the event. Hopefully, fingers crossed. There is some rain in the forecast. Fingers crossed. But that being said, Kyle Larson's frustration is 100% justified. Like, NASCAR's known windshields at Bristol Dirt were questionable since last year. Why did it take until this week for them to test, a mesh, something other than a traditional windshield? Why weren't they considering this months ago? Like, maybe part shortages, of course, part delays. Maybe they were too busy preparing other stuff. It was kind of a mad scramble at the end of last season going into this season to get the next gen car 100% prepared. So maybe they just ran out of time. Either way, this does look bad on NASCAR that they didn't plan for this event accordingly. It feels like immediately following last year's Bristol Dirt race, someone should have gone back to the drawing board and immediately began looking for alternatives to windshields. The fact that nothing got actually tested until a few days ago is a bit surprising to me, so I completely understand and agree with Kyle Larson's frustrations. But also, listening to that clip, this is a storyline I think going into the weekend. Kyle Larson, like I said, easily the best dirt racer in the Cup Series. I mean, Christopher Bell's won some Chili Bowls. They've raced head-to-head, believe me. Christopher Bell's great, Briscoe's great. A lot of drivers in the Cup Series have strong dirt backgrounds, but Kyle Larson's the best. And so him venting there, to me, that just shows you how much pressure is on Kyle Larson this weekend. He's the clear favorite coming into this weekend, just as he was last year when he then got caught up in a Christopher Bell wreck. We know how much he loves dirt racing, the pedestal he puts it on. He wants to see the dirt racing world thrive. He wants to succeed at dirt racing no matter what kind of car he's driving, what series he's in. He not only wants to see a great dirt racing product, he also wants to win. He wants to succeed. He wants to be the best in whatever dirt racing discipline he's competing in. And going into this week, racing at a temporary dirt track that does not race like a traditional dirt track, in NASCAR stock cars, which are not dirt cars and do not race like other dirt racing cars, I think Larson's further out of his element than we all realize. Like, go back to last year. Martin Truex Jr. won the truck race. He didn't have any dirt experience. Joey Logano won the Cup race without any prior dirt experience. Daniel Suarez literally radioed during stage 2 that he has no idea what he was doing while he was leading a bunch of laps. NASCAR Cup cars on Bristol Dirt do not race like any other dirt racing series in the world. And I think Kyle Larson's trying to make sure we all know that. We're putting all this pressure on him saying, oh, this is Larson's race to lose. But it's the equivalent of if an NFL linebacker showed up to the YMCA to play flag football. Everyone's going to look at him like, oh, he's an NFL star. Of course he's going to be the best player out here. I mean, football's football, right? But realistically, the skills don't necessarily transfer over. Like, yes, this is dirt racing, but it's unlike any other dirt racing out there. So drivers who have great dirt racing backgrounds and have traditional dirt racing skill sets, I don't think necessarily will thrive this weekend at Bristol Dirt because they didn't necessarily thrive last year. Like, yeah, Bell was fast, Larson was fast, but Bell wrecked and took Larson out with them. The guys who won all weekend largely were not dirt veterans. I think we'll see more of the same this weekend, and I think that's Kyle Larson's point. I think he's frustrated that because Bristol Dirt, NASCAR Cup cars on Bristol Dirt explicitly, doesn't race anything like other dirt races. I think to him it feels, I don't know if illegitimate is the right word, but it just feels like something other than dirt racing, I guess. And to his point, if NASCAR is not going to do the most basic thing they can to their cars, and that is remove the windshield, put something there similar to other dirt cars, then how can you expect the industry to look at this as a legitimate dirt race? It's not legitimate or illegitimate, I feel like. It's just different. I think that's Kyle Larson's point. That's what we've heard from other drivers, is that this track and this race is unlike any other dirt race, so all this pressure we're putting on the dirt stars like Larson may be somewhat unfair. I don't know, I'm just spitballing, I'm just kind of rambling here, but share your thoughts down below. What did you make of Kyle Larson's windshield comments? I think he has a 100% valid point. NASCAR should have been looking into this months ago, and if they were, why did it take so long to finally test something? Either way, share your thoughts down below. That's gonna do it for this episode. Again, we'll be back tomorrow talking more things Bristol Dirt. We have other drivers driver quotes I want to react to. But for now, thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future uploads. And as always, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters. I truly appreciate your consistent support. I'll see you all very, very soon. I'm excited for Bristol Dirt, even though it's unlike any other race out there. I mean, that's part of what makes it special. It is unlike any other race out there. These cars are so far out of their elements. Many of the drivers are out of their elements, and sometimes that puts on a great show. I think this weekend will be better than this race last year, but who knows? Weather is going to be a factor. New car, new everything. If we've learned one thing through these first 8 or 9 weeks, the next gen car is very unpredictable. So should be interesting, if nothing else. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.